This is a message for believing women. If you do despite unto the Spirit of grace, which is conviction, you will sear your conscience with a hot iron. Therefore, putting yourself under the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. And one of those curses is that women will eat their children. Ecclesiastes 1:9 says there's nothing new under the sun. What happened then will happen again, but on a grander scale. And if you read in Genesis, alongside 1 Enoch 7 verse 5 and Jubilee 7, you see that the watchers, the fallen angels, lusted after women and had children with them. And those children were the Nephilim, the giants. And what did those giants do? They devoured one another, eating one another. So what happened then is going to happen again. Do you want to eat your children? Look at your child in the face. Could you fathom that even happening? So in Lamentations 2, verse 20, because we need to prove all things with Scripture, it says, "Behold, O Lord Jehovah, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Your children are the fruit of your womb. Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord?" And then you go to Deuteronomy 28, where it talks about the blessings which are given to the obedient and the curses which come upon the children of disobedience. And aren't we told in Ephesians 5:6 and Colossians 3:6 that the wrath of God comes to the children of disobedience? You lawless Christians who break his holy covenant each and every day. So Deuteronomy 28 verses 53 through 57. "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord Jehovah thy God hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left with him in the siege, and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates, the tender and delicate woman around you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates." So this is going to happen during the great tribulation. The Father is going to strip everyone of everything they know. That is his last chance of mercy upon the whole earth. And he's giving you an opportunity to be humbled if you find yourself in the great and terrible day of the Lord. If you thought the Holocaust, the world wars were bad, the Great Tribulation is going to be the most horrific, unimaginable event. You're going to be stripped of every single thing. Yeshua is coming back with a sword. He's coming back with the 144,000 to execute fiery judgment. The earth was flooded by water the first time, and now it's going to be flooded by fire. And in Jeremiah 19:9 it says, "And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straiten them." You have to truly, truly sear your conscience with a hot iron, where you're totally under a extremely strong delusion to think that it's okay to eat your children. If you don't want these things to happen to your children and to you, remember, the life is in the blood. You need to get into covenant. Come to the Father with a humble and contrite, repentant heart, a heart like David. Read Psalm 32 and Psalm 51. Prophecy is true. You will eat your children when the famine comes. If you find yourself under the curses, if you remain a stiff-necked and rebellious child, there is the possibility that that will happen because prophecy has to be fulfilled. So what side of prophecy will you be found on? Hosea 4:6, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, which is the holy covenant, the 10 commandments, which he wrote on 2 tables of stone. I will also forget thy children." If you find yourself in the great tribulation, may you please remember Deuteronomy 4:27 through 31. The Father's name is Yah, and the Son's name is Yeshua.